And once you have studied what is real and what is of value and what is not, then you will stop falling for the okie doke. You will stop falling for as many of the scams that is out there that's designed to take advantage of people. Yeah, I know it's hard because, they try to take advantage of people that don't have a lot of material to begin with. Like, oh, you broke, you don't have a job, why don't you come over here, we'll take care of you. Just come out here and get some more people to come up under me and give me more money. That almost sounds like some prostitution, almost. But for entertainment purposes only, so it's legal, right? So, you gotta look out for stuff like that. You gotta look for the things that, okay, we took our time, it took a little while, but, we elbow grease, we really dug in, we cleaned up this area, we actually took care of this building, now we own it. Because we flipped it. But we didn't ask somebody else to do it, we did it ourselves. We learned how to do this stuff ourselves. So, how do we transmit that knowledge to our loved ones that we have out here that are making it out of business or don't have a place to stay? Huh? Oh yeah, I'm just saying, how do we do this? Right? And then how do we understand where they're at mentally and where we're at mentally? Because, we got to be someplace mentally where we're like, oh, that guy's homeless, okay, whatever. Right? Yes, you have compassion, but you also have to be aware of being taken advantage of.
Right.
The compassion is, I got a little money, I got an opportunity for this young man or woman to come and make some money. Legit, a clean thing. But then also, I can't be super patronizing to them.
Right.
I can only say, I hope you use this to build to your next step to get where you go, where you be stable. You got me? But it's hard. It's a hard question and a hard, quote unquote, problem.
Right.
So, because a lot of it is based on this here, the mental issue.
Okay.
But actually dealing with your pre-natural dealing, what is it, the mental block I have for being successful? What is it I'm not out here telling people that can break that barrier down so we can get stuff accomplished? And a lot of that, deals with people don't want to be upfront and truthful, like, well, I'm homeless because, I got a record. I had smoked something and now it's on my record. I had shoplifted and this is on my record. And now I can't get those kind of appointments that's beneficial or that will at least get me to stay afloat. I got to go out here and bust my butt to do something if I want to work. Or I got to do for self. Well, maybe that's not an obstacle. Maybe that's an opportunity to see you shine, to see what it is that you can do as a man or woman to build yourself up. You got me? So I'm going to leave that on the table for now and say peace. Peace.
Tiffany, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm good.
Peace.
I'm great.
Yeah. Come here. Many shall come on the edge.
This Facebook.
Many shall come on, a few shall be chosen. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, yeah, building on that, I know a lot of people want to get into that. This is the thing that we've had before at Parliaments. And I'm going to wait for him to give the punchline, but it's kind of related to another discussion that you and I was doing.
When? What discussion is that?
Age gap. Right? So you may hear God and earth.
Well, what that had to do with this?
I'm about to break it down to you.
Okay.
Age gap. So you have a God and earth come by and they say, "Oh, I'm not African. I'm Asian gap." And they got naps and everything. What do you mean you Asian gap? That mean you from China, right? That mean you from Japan? What you mean, right? like you afraid of being black. That's not what I'm saying. Right. So, you know, these terms, even Asia, are modern terms. We didn't used to call the planet Asia more than 6,000 years ago. That's a modern term, but it's a relevant term for some things that we discussed. Because if you look at the quote unquote slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, they were coming across the Atlantic Ocean. They were coming from the east. So most people, black people with naps, are coming here from the east. That's that part that means Asian, from the east. But you got black people coming from the west. You got, and by that I mean people that don't have naps. Because when we talk about Asiatic people in our nation, we talk about black people, brown people, yellow people, basically all non-white people. But what does that have to do about many shall come if you be chosen? You know, if they're all part of the human family, a lot of them don't act like it. Because you got the nail store in the hood. You got the what other stores you have? You got the Indians
Corner store,
or at the gas station or bodegas.
Right.
And they're trying to take advantage of people. Which you mean they Asiatic. They try to, you know, they try to sell you pork. They trying to sell you some slop.
And plus, they're not gonna put money back into the community. They're gonna put money back into their community or send it back home to their country.
Right. There you go. So how does that whole Asiatic term make sense for people like that? It's only supposed to give you awareness. The people that's doing that, they don't even have a knowledge of themselves.
That's how today's mathematics comes into play.
Right.
It's like you were saying, today is what wisdom born what knowledge. If we took the time to find knowledge itself, then we would know that's our righteousness. Even when you start off from the student enrollment, the first degree is who is the original man. So by going through that, who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man. Make it on the premium planet Earth, father civilization out of the universe. So with that first starting off, I know who I am. And if I know who I am, you can't trick me. Then I understand who Asian, because even with the term Asiatic, you know what I'm saying? Asia is the body. Attic is the mind. So what I'm saying is, when we say, like you were saying, universal, because I understand too in science, B is biology, B is dominant. So that means everybody comes from me. In a sense, if I'm the original, that means I'm the first. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what, I mean, it's all semantics. No matter what term, but when I say Asiatic, I'm saying I'm the first mind and I'm the first thought in mind. Okay? That's how I see it.
I want to say something that, and this is the reason why the terminology comes to me, few be chosen. The way you know the few is by the action. They can say what they want to say. And one of the terminologies, Asiatic, was created. But it was created with a positive thought behind it. Because when you took Asiatic, Asia meaning body and added meaning mind, Asia meaning body and added meaning mind, you put body before the mind. It doesn't exist. It's mind before the body.
Exactly.
But when you hear dudes who talk like you, who read a piece of paper that said that was understanding, somebody's understanding to that. But Elijah Muhammad is one of the authors of these theories that a lot of us run with. And this is how you know the many, because you just listen to them. You listen to them. They'll say things that are familiar. They'll say things that sound good. But how do you know them? They'll have the flag on. They'll have the ring on. They have it tatted and it ain't changed. But that still doesn't make them a few. And that's the reason why I like to use this jewel, because a lot of us judge the many and put them in the few. A lot of us.
Exactly.
We would call Latif one of the few, predicated on what? Because the name's Latif, right? Come on, last name's Allah.
Right.
Because I had knowledge in 78, that don't mean nothing. You can have a dude get down 5 years and be one of the chosen.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Timothy always posts different things up. But a lot of times I think you hold certain people accountable for what they're not accountable for. You can't hold a dummy responsible for the answer to the smart man's answer, because they're dummies. You can't expect, you hold a male accountable to a man qualification. Because a lot of us, there are many males, but there are few men.
Right.
Follow? There are many females,
But there are few
but there are
women.
few women.
Yeah.
There are many frauds, but
there are
very
few.
few gods.
Right.
And I can keep going on and on. And this is applicable in so many ways. That's why it's so deep. The way you know truth, because it's applicable at all times, not just today. Knowledge. That's the reason why we defer knowledge from information. Because a lot of people run with information. When I met him, I gave him a whole book, whole bunch of literature. Somebody said we don't do that, or they don't do that. I do it because it'll never hurt me.
Right.
The many got it. It's the few gonna do something with it.
Yeah, and that's why I was telling somebody at one time. I was talking to a brother on the phone, and he was doing some type of lecture. I said, look, I'm going to say this to you. You can give a speech to a whole bunch of people in the room, but only expect the few to get a message. Right. So in other words, if you expect everybody in that room to pick up on what you're saying or do something just because they agree to you, then you're going to find yourself disappointed.
Oh, no doubt.
So therefore, you can only expect a few people to do something or get the message. You know, you can deliver the speech to everybody, but expect a few to do something. Now, if a whole bunch of people decide to do everything at once, then that should become a surprise to you.
No doubt.
But outside of that, only expect a few.
And you're so correct. Like in the nation, God's on earth, there are over 1 million of advocates of this flag.
Right.
They might call themselves a law 5%, 5%ers, nation, God's on earth, 5% nation, but rock this flag.
Right.
Anybody that 7, but I'm talking the nation God is over 1 million of us. But I didn't tell you they're my airline. There's many of us.
Right.
When you go to the show pool, you come to parliaments, you've been here several times.
Right.
You see 20, 30, and you say, oh, Doc, where's your million? You're going to keep seeing it.
Exactly.
We will always, I don't care what happens, we will always be the few. Always. So if you ever become part of this nation or the contest you want to be part of something big, you're in the wrong nation.
Exactly.
You're in the wrong place.
Exactly.
Because we will always be the few. Yes, there might be 200 of us here. There's been times, especially when it's negative, there's 60 of us here. 3 or 4 years ago, 60 or 70 of us in here. But it was negative reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we had these little cycles like this, 5, 6, 10, 15. It's peace. Last month we had one. It was like 12 of us here. Negative came. And that's what they do. You see? But that's because the many gonna always do what many do.
Right.
The few gonna do what few do. And this is why this is so deep. This is why we've had this cycle's been redundant several times. Because I think the word is born is like so deep. Because it'll scare people off. See, when you start identifying the few and the many, guess what the few do? They stand.
Exactly.
What the many do? They scatter.
Right.
And take off.
Like roaches.
Because it's crazy when you gave me all that paperwork, right? It was just, I remember exactly what you told me. You gave me everything, like read this, da 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 da. And I'm not gonna tell you what to do with it. You should know what to do. And so I read every single literature you gave me, right? And then the very last one I read, right? Because you applied to your own what we really teach and all of that. And it says that money should come, only a few should be chosen. And what I got out of it is because you had a list of everything that you're supposed to go through your fast when you go and do this and you do this and that. And what I realized, what you were saying is not everybody's going to read all of this and actually apply it. So I got what you was doing. Because you was like, nah, I'm not going to come back. I want you to give me. And after reading it, I understood it's about applying it. Because many people probably had the same literature I had.
Oh, trust me.
Or just like, I'll use my godfather, for example, the dominant law. Like you said, he rocks the universal flag and everything, but is he applying it and showing improving it?
I don't know.
Right. I'm just giving you an example, like, you know what I'm saying? Because he told me he come here a lot, but obviously that's not the case. But that's still your due, to show improve. But from what I get out of it, it's about applying the action and actually doing.
Those are the things you want to look for. There's many ways to distinguish who the many and who the few is. I like to listen to them.
Right.
See, when a person talks over a period of time, and I said this earlier to the guys who's here, when a person tell you who they are, you have a right. You have a bona fide right to question it. Because they said it. But when a person show you who they are, believe them.
Exactly.
Believe them. This right here, many talk.
Oh yeah.
They talk. And when they talk, they have no substance.
Right.
And I don't even have no substance. You just listen to what they say. They say a lot of things that they've been told. You can hear the paper and some people, like you hear somebody get me who's been Richmond, Asia, back in Megan, Kennedy, Foster, Chicago Universe. What did you say? Farrakhan do that every single time he speaks. He mentions one of these lessons, and because these lessons was there before. Mm-hmm. Little different, but they founded it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So when you got to keep this in mind, we run with a lot of things the next man say. Asiatic. Asian mean body, Attic mean mind. Okay, so now you put the body before the mind. Show put a terminology. Where did that come from? Show me in books where Asiatic. We understand that certain things are created to give us something to hold on to. Principles, Kwanzaa. Right. They are principles that Joanna Jufu did not create Kwanzaa. Did not create it. He took principles that were already...
Ron Karenga.
Ron, what I said?
You said Kajufu.
I said Kajufu?
Yeah.
I meant Ron Karenga. Ron Karenga took principles. He went to a place where they had thousands of principles. He took 7 of the principles, brought it over here, and created what they call Kwanzaa. But them same principles are the same thing like mathematics. We sit up here today, we say, wisdom built to destroy, all being born the book knowledge. But there are more than 2 principles in supreme mathematics. It's 10. And hopefully one day, you take all these principles, you don't have to wait till the 28 to do wisdom build to destroy. You'll do it on the wisdom board today if you know how to do it. All these principles come back to this. They're all founded in knowledge, because knowledge is what? The foundation.
Exactly.
So when you start running with it, well, today mathematics is wisdom born, it's understanding cipher. That's to get you in practice, to practice it, because if the one day that you should be doing this is wisdom build destroy, you should be doing this. On the 29th, but these numbers didn't always dictate to us what we do or how we do things. When you in court to the universe, we did this every day. We knowledge every day, we wisdom every day, we understood every day, we coached you, and we knew what freedom was. We powered and we refined. We dealt with equality, we knew who God was. We build as well as destroy. We born and we knew what the cipher was. But this is to get you into practice, because before you know it, every principle is practiced every day. But this is how you distinguish the many, because see, the many feel, today's 28th of today, I gotta make my wisdom build, destroy, and it's acknowledging, okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. And then tomorrow, I could do something else, because but that's to get you a practice, because before long, this becomes your way of life. This means this is how you live. You be doing knowledge every day. You be doing wisdom every day. You be understanding every day. But we start here. We start here. Because these days didn't dictate our way of life. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 40. It didn't dictate. The solar system had more impression upon us. 365 didn't play our rule. Our measurement was not always 365. You know what I mean? But we don't know that. Or some people don't know that. But this is how you distinguish the many from the few. Because the few know. And you're going to know the few. Trust me. The things that they say, the things that they do, it might be similar to some of these many things, but trust me, you're going to know the difference. Information, knowledge. You'll know it. Because this dude here, he just going to talk. This girl here, she just going to talk. See, the many got to always big themselves up. I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man. I'm God, I'm earth. But see, a God don't got to say nothing.
Exactly, you just got to
show
it through your actions.
A man ain't got to say nothing.
Just show it through your actions.
The man ain't got to always grab up. I'm a man, you going to respect me.
Just show it through your actions.
He's a boy. He's a boy.
Right, yeah.
The true men don't have to say that.
You show it through your actions.
When you meet these dudes called the Nation of Gods in Irving, every time you go, I'm God, you know, I'm divine God of God, I'm like, trust me, 9 out of 10 is a fraud.
Oh, yeah.
Because you done met me several years now.
Yeah.
And I don't think you've ever heard me say, I'm God.
No.
I don't have to.
No.
I don't have to.
You present yourself.
God is going to be God regardless. That's why we got the wisdom degree in the alphabet. It's be or born. He's going to exist regardless. A man is going to be a man regardless. I ain't got to walk up to the young brother here and ask him, am I a man or not?
Right.
I ain't got to ask him that.
Right.
He already knows what I am. And not because he met me yesterday. He ain't never met him. Is that a man there? See? Because in his mind, what is he basing it upon? He earned his face. What are you basing it on? Structure don't make man.
His action.
But you're gonna learn that because you're gonna meet a dude one day who you do things in a more respectful, better way than him. And he said, "Darn, I'm supposed to be a boy," and he did what? Wow, like I do that. Now you come back and say, "Well, Divine, maybe he's not a man." When you see Divine, do you see a man? And there's a reason why. Not just because of his structure, but you see the things that he do. You've seen Divine long enough. You see him do man things. So, and she's more conscious to call him a man because she spent time with him. She's not more conscious to call him a man because she don't even know him.
Right.
But she's still gonna call him a man out of respect.
Right.
Out of respect. Until you show him proof. Until you show him proof.
Right.
You call yourself what you call yourself a millionaire. I've been in prison. And you can sit there all day long. I was a man. When I was on the street, man, I had it, man. I had the cars, the women. But you're asking for a cigarette. You're smoking behind the next dude. Like, can I? But you was a baller. How? How? Wisdom is a manifestation of knowledge. Generally, when you see a woman, you will see her man. Generally, if you see a woman and you say, I don't think it's because you saw she don't have a man. Watch him. Some of these women will give you a better presentation alone without a man than with a man, but a man contributes to it. Because the way Tiffany is, I already know why she's the way she is. I know what she is. Man made her that way.
What you mean?
Males have made you the way you are.
What you talking about? Right now,
very feisty.
I'm
Very you, huh?
Oh, go ahead.
What you would say?
I said controversy.
Controversy. And it, not that you care. Males have made you wait when you stronger than ever. Listen, I've seen your posts. Your past is revealed into your present just by the things you said. I ain't never have to ask. I listen to your posts towards males. And it's not 100% positive. Because men in your life haven't been 100% positive.
Right.
How do I know that? I'm not psychic.
Right.
I'm in tune.
Right.
It doesn't take a whole bunch of equations, the Pythagorean theory and all that to know woman. Opposites. When you know one thing, you know another one. All I got to do is know the bond and I know you. I know men. I know men. I know me. Woman ain't that much opposite of us. You can't spell woman without man. You can't spell female without male. You can't spell she without he. You can't spell her without he. You can't spell lady without lad. They're inseparable. You can't get to understanding without wisdom.
Right.
You can't. Try it. Try to get to understanding. You say you want children. It's only you and her in the room.
Exactly.
I guarantee you won't get no child out here, no understanding out of here. And you've been in that room for 30 years. Y'all both will be in that room. It takes knowledge and wisdom to bring forth understanding. It's not by coincidence. Wisdom is two. Knowledge is one. When you put it together, you get through it. It's not by coincidence. It's actual fact.
Exactly.
Actual fact. But we don't understand this side. We don't understand why is it. I understand why she's so.
I'm not always like that now.
You're not always, but a good. It's just the fact that you know one thing about the truth. They say the truth is like medicine.
Yeah.
It can be bitter to the taste, but it can cure what ails you. It's the truth. I didn't read your book. I just look at your little posters here and there, and I can tell you why.
Yeah.
Most males can't deal with you. Most males are gonna either run with you, or they're gonna do what men do. Or males do. I'm gonna tell you what males do with a woman like this. They're gonna snatch you behind up. They're gonna snatch you up. Because that's one of our recourses. When we in the wrong, busted. Dead busted. No more we was messing with that shorty over there. Dead busted. The phone ringing and her number sitting in your phone. You know what we do? Let's tear things up. That's a common response from us. Especially when we busted. We don't do this. You're right. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. We don't do that. We don't can. See? We can.
Yeah.
We can, but we can.
Yeah, right.
We can.
It's in us to do
in
it.
our mind, our pride. Bump that. Because that's what we generally, I just see everybody does it. You see, but generally that's what we do. A woman like that, it's going to take a dude who can feed her and do more than just the average people do. Because she got a mind. She has a mind. And I'm commending you on that because I'm not going to get that to everybody. Everybody might have access to a mind. There's a difference in having a mind and having access to a mind. You can have access to him and have access to a mind. Don't mean nothing. He could be the gun. You got access to it. Don't mean nothing if he's standing all the way over there.
Right.
See, but the point I want to do is this is distinguished. You can be to have laryngitis, and I can tell you if you want to these. I meet these all day long. I've been in the Nation Guards and Earth for almost 40 years now. Oh. So I know darn well who the talkers are. I know when they come in. We had an incident one time. Dude snuck me. Dude jumped on that table right there and tried to kick me while I was fighting the dude. Back in the days, yo, first put your hand on God. Why we gotta go back in the days?
That's regression.
But the dude should never have said that.
Right.
Because it don't take back in the days to implement this. It's like Old Testament and New Testament. Right. The New Testament was not brought about to do away with the Old Testament. Mm-hmm. It was here to fulfill it. Mm-hmm. Say it again.
To remind people.
To remind you. That's it.
Like, you still need to stop being important.
And it's just good that you said that. I just got these pamphlets called something about the hall. And I was giving it to these brothers and sisters to be training with me because you're a Christian, but in the true Christian definition, hog is not supposed to be there.
Right.
By biblical, not by Latika divine standards, by biblical, not by Muslim standards, but by biblical. But still they eat it and call themselves a Christian. I'm not saying she's less a Christian or he's a lesser Christian because of that. I'm not telling you that dominant or these individuals who don't come to Parliament are lesser than they are. I'm just telling you, be careful. It's a red flag a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Because when you say you love something, there's certain things that come along with it. You can't tell a woman you love her and you beat her. But it's not always true that you don't love her when you beat her either. Just because he's stepping that woman over there doesn't mean that he don't love her. He might not love her the way you is, but it is a red flag. It is something to stand on and say, well, you don't love me because you stuck with her. But that's not necessarily true either. You can love the car, love your headphones, love your cell phone, but the degree of love might change. That's why in our way of life, when we define love, we don't define it by a feeling. We define love, we do it with a universal meaning that you can apply at all times. Love and understanding, one and the same. They shake hands. When the Bible says love thy enemy, it's a deep statement. It's deep. It didn't say sleep with your enemy. It said love your enemy. What it was actually saying was understand your enemy. Because when you understand your enemy, you love your enemy. It's a form of love. It's not the degree of love you love your mama, your child, your car, your money, but it's still a degree because he's there. It's a love. It might be 1 degree, but the fact is, it's there. Understand your enemy. This is how you know the meaning for the few. Because a lot of stuff that they say, it won't fit them. See, I don't make my bills to fit me. I don't do that. When I gave you those literatures, I didn't give you information that's only going to fit everybody out there and not me. Like I can do what I want. I come from the school where God is He who can do what He want to do, when He want to do it, how He want to do it. Can't nobody do nothing, but the women can't. God can.
That's not fair.
It's not. But and that's why I tell you the greatest lesson I've learned in my entire 40 years of this nation is you don't do what you want to do, you do what must be done. Because I used to be in the prison system, we used to set riots off with the Muslims. Just because. Because we can. We were the bigger numbers, and we was always taught that the Muslims killed the father. But that's not what the father said. According to the words passed down, the father said that his own kind was going to kill him. One of his own would kill him. Mm-hmm. So how did that come into play? But that's how we was taught. So we walked around with an Ansalon, walked through the train tracks, asking for money with the right to eat, we throw pork rinds on them. But that's not mathematics because the foundation says one of the components that make up knowledge is what? Respect. So we disrespecting where's knowledge?
Not applying it.
If we walking in the mass jig, they say, Allah, you walk, we say, I'm here. That's disrespect.
Right.
But we didn't see that.
Right.
Because we was taught one thing and we ran with it. But as time went on, this happened. I went from him to him. My middle name is Seymour, Seymou. It means the chosen one. And you know how you become chosen? Divine can't choose me. Tip can't choose me. He can't choose me. You can't choose me. It said, many come, few be chosen. Those that's chosen will choose themselves.
I say.
Peace.
Peace. So, I was bringing up the term Asiatic because I was asked, well, what do I feel about that term? And I feel like most people don't understand what the heck we talking about when we say Asiatic. They think, oh, you mean Oriental, or you saying you're not African, or you trying to be not black, or you trying to be different. And this is where I like to take, or somebody the few will take a term that's misunderstood and break it down to language that everybody can understand. So when Elijah Muhammad was talking about Asia, he just talking about the planet Earth. He just saying this is the dominant term for people that call their country. They add the word Asia at the end. Tunisia, Eurasia, this, that, and the other.
Right.
It's just a suffix. If you take it even further, like you look up the word Asia, it has roots in the Hebrew word called Itza. And Itza means like elevated or risen. But this alludes to the fact that when you talk about somebody is Asiatic, that means they live on land. There's a difference between living on land and living below sea level or living under the sea. It just means somebody that live on planet Earth. And as black people or original people, we mean like worldwide. We're worldwide people. We're not just people with that. The people that's Indians with straight hair and dark skin, they're black people. The Native Americans, or either like full-blooded one or descendants of, they're part of the original people. Because the further you go back, the browner or blacker they get. Even the people in the quote-unquote Orient, in China, in Japan, the further they go back, the blacker they get. In fact, a lot of the blacker people in these countries are persecuted. You go into Runoko Rashidi's his lectures and his videos, he talks about the untouchables, right? And most of these is like dark skin, nappy Indians. You know they was nappy Indians, right? Some have dreadlocks, and they get persecuted. They get treated similar to how black people get treated in America. They're like second class, third class, no class citizens, right? And this happens worldwide. And this is because the people that are over here that are up in the gas station or up in the nail store or wherever else, they still living under that mentality that the lighter you are, the better you are. And they most people that's here, that's an Indian, they not out here doing yoga. If you Asian, they not going somewhere to meditate. They trying to hustle just like everybody else. And the way they know to hustle is to act like the devil and trying to gain people. I'm going to sell you some overpriced stuff just to make it. Because first of all, I'm up in a place that's overpriced. I'm buying it from the devil, so it's overpriced. I'm just going to go hook, line, and sinker into all that. So I always was like puzzled. My educator is like, okay, these are original people, but he would dog out Chinese people, and he would even dog out like African people. Like they not adding back on that communities, the Nigerians and Ethiopians or whatever. They taking advantage of black people in this country, and I would get like confused and puzzled. Like, wow, I thought we were all people. The same.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. It is true, even with your own kind, just because that saying goes, all skinfolk ain't your kinfolk.
I got you.
So, with that being said, go back to the many shall come and only a few chosen. So, you're going to have many black people amongst you, but you're going to only have a few that's really about their nation, about their own people. Okay? And then the rest of them, they're just going to go on about their business, or they don't want to have nothing to do with you, or they just going to take what they can get from it and just be out the door. So now you stuck with the few that you have.
Right.
So.
Right. So, I say that to say, yeah, they're original, but they was taught wrong just like everybody else.
Right.
And so it got to be deeper than you brown, black, or yellow, or even saying somebody is devil. It got to be deeper is because they're white. Because you got some black people doing the nastiest thing to people, and then you got some of the white people doing kind stuff.
That's why when I teach a little different than most NGE members. I don't teach on color because as long as you focus on color, I got control of it.
Right.
The enemy is green, so everything green, you're on point. Everything other than that, you're not on point. I got you because the red is going to shoot you. You see, I focus on mentality. So when you're expecting black people who got money to do something for your people, they're lost.
Exactly.
If you think Bill Cosby, anybody who got money to do something for you because they are non-white, you're gonna lose.
Exactly.
You're gonna lose. First of all, my money, my money. You cannot tell me what to do with my money. If I got millions of dollars, I'm a bloodsucker poor, you can't tell me what to do with my money.
Right.
So that's why when I teach and when I gave him the literature, I focus on mentality. Because most people focus on color and gender. See, when you focus on the two of those, you're gonna always lose. If you say the woman is your enemy, guess what happens? The man gonna rob you tomorrow. Plain and simple. I know darn well that you're anti-devil. Not just say one of you, and the white man is the devil. That's the same way, because 9 out of 10 we the one gonna break my car tonight.
Right.
I mean, you can't focus on it. The many gonna always focus ahead. Elijah Muhammad, all of them, when they defined the enemy, they defined it by color.
Okay.
But that's because, think about when Elijah Muhammad existed.
Right.
Physically.
Right.
30s, 40s,
Yeah.
50s.
That's how
The white man, as they call him, was the one that was, it was evident, it was prevalent. He was out there and he was there.
Public society.
No doubt. You know what I mean? So at the same time, it was an upliftment for us to say the black man is God, the black woman is earth. It was an upliftment to call myself God.
Right.
Because I was the ugly duckling. So because I'm ugly duckling, I just uplifted myself. I can see. And it gave no substance behind it other than I'm God. Black man is God. They ready to remember the banners. Black man is God, everything. And it was something to grasp to because at that time, this is 2017. It's 2017. Focus on the color. 9 out of 10 to do the rape to your daughter. Play pervert to your son. Shot your nephew. 9 out of 10, you look like this. You can put it on a cop or you want to. 9 out of 10 is one. I'm not saying, but it goes back to they still original, they still black. But you can't expect much out of this. Right. When a person is this, you can't expect much out of them. This is when you know somebody is this.
Yeah.
I didn't say think he's this. When you know a person is one of the few, when you know somebody is a true and living, you know what you expect out of him? A whole different ballgame.
Right. Oh yeah, I just wanted to build real quick. I mean, I wanted to stand up and build real quick, if you don't mind.
We don't mind.
Okay.
Peace.
All right then. Whew. All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right. I'm sorry not to cut you off. All right. So since the theme topic is many shall come and only a few shall be chosen, we're going to talk about how many come to you and say they're conscious. I'm going to speak on it. Many may come to you and say they're conscious because of how they dress or how they act. I mean, how they dress and how they, they wear their hair and stuff like that. But you will only know there's a few of them that are conscious, right? The only reason why, because everybody that say they conscious are not fully conscious or don't know exactly what it means to be conscious. I mean, if you put them up to a challenge, ask them, well, what is consciousness? What is enlightenment? What is awakening? Many cannot tell you that because they themselves don't know. All right, they just going along with it because it's a fad. It's just a trend or something. But do they actually live the lifestyle accordingly? Do they follow those principles of consciousness? There's only a few. So it's like that with what we call the conscious community, so to speak. You have many people coming out, they holler out, yeah, I'm conscious, I'm this, that, and blah, blah, blah. But you will only find that when you have a conversation with them and interact with them just to see where their mind is at, with their level of intelligence. And I know it's just by interacting with individuals on Facebook, you would know that there's only a few people that are truly conscious, they are truly either living the lifestyle or trying to live it. But the rest of them just do it because they have an agenda. And I'm speaking on that for a reason. There's one particular individual that I was discussing about on the post on Facebook, regarding to the fact that he was getting away with using consciousness as to get over the people, to finesse the people. So he was doing it by selling his status correction philosophy to individual for $450. That was one of the things. I mean, it's just one of those individuals that just kind of blown me away. So I'm not too much mad at that person. I'm gonna tell you why, because that person did what he was doing. He did it because he wanted to get the hustle. I'm just mad at the people that claim that they are conscious, they are aware, they know what's going on, etc. Well, if you're conscious and you know that this individual is in the way with, if you are conscious and you know that the information that the individual is teaching is fraudulent or it's 100% false and they cannot verify it, and you still go along with that rhetoric, I blame you more than I blame them. I blame you because you know. You should know the difference. You claim to be conscious, you claim to have awareness, you claim to know what's going on. If you know what's going on, then why would you allow this person to continue to get away with what they doing? Why do you continue to put money into this person's pocket and knowing that this person is scamming you, this person is not being legitimate about anything, but you continuously to support this individual, you continuously to put this person on a pedestal as if there's some type of God or there's some type of higher power here to excuse me. And another question I ask, we always get caught up in the term of master teacher. What does it mean to be a master teacher? See, is everybody a master teacher, or can everybody be a master teacher? What do they meet the qualification of one? What does it mean to be a master teacher? That's the first question I asked on Facebook, and everybody had different response. But I'm asking this because the people that you may call a master teacher may not represent themselves that way. Or don't present themselves in that character or in that light. So the thing is, you have to be careful who you refer to as master. Because have they really mastered the skill of teaching, or have they shown that they are truly the master, or they just shown that they can put on a facade as a master and just to get over you? What is it?
But one thing about me,
right?
I will not. If you show me somebody who you call a master teacher, 9 out of 10, he's a bull crap artist. 9 out of 10.
Right.
Because you can relate information, don't make you a master teacher.
Exactly.
You say you know your teacher by your student.
Exactly.
You know your student because he becomes a teacher.
Exactly.
See, I done taught 1,000. In this nation of God's earth, over 1,000.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you honestly, 90% of them made it across the line. That's not I have to do what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
You got to do what you do next. So when you see
Exactly.
these guys as teachers, that's just a terminology like we talked about earlier. What was he saying? It was a terminology we was using earlier. Community builder.
Oh yeah.
When I want to make my resume look good, I'm a community builder. I'm a master teacher. I'm the God of gods. I'm the Lord of lords. It sounds good.
Sounds good, but are you
To who? To who? To dummies? Or to the true living? Because if you come to me with it, you're a master builder. At 9 out of 10, all I got to do is just listen to you. 1 minute.
Right.
And I know darn well who you really is.
Right.
We have a story in the Bible where Jacob's uncle, Jacob's uncle, went into the prison cell, and as soon as he met him, you know what he said? I know who you are. In Africa, in the continent of Africa, there's a tribe, I forgot the actual name, but when they greet one another, they don't say peace. They say Sawabona. And it's kind of hard talk, just like Sawabona. And what they do is, they say it means I see you. So when they walk up to each other, they're Sawabona, Sawabona, Sawabona. You know what they all say to each other? I see you. I know you. I understand you. So when that master teacher come to me, Sawabona. Because you're not going to get too far with me. You already told me. He's charging $4.25 for his information. We got a dude that was down here selling excessive $120, $1.99 app. $1.99 for $120. What do you do to that? You know what I mean? But I told you about the individual. But that goes on all around the world. They sell these teachings, these flags. Chinese man capitalized. It used to be you had to go through trial and error to get one of these. Today you can buy 100 of them. Like that. $700.
Wow.
Because that master teacher term isn't just a terminology. You said something about fully conscious. And I'm going to ask you, what is fully conscious mean?
Now, I didn't say fully conscious, but I'm saying...
So they're not fully conscious.
Okay, when I say those who come to you, so to go back to the many shall come on and few shall be chosen, right? But those who come and say, I am conscious, I am this, I am that. Okay, are you conscious or do you represent yourself as conscious, or are you just saying it because it's a trend?
What does conscious mean?
All right, conscious would mean what? Awareness.
Aware of. I'm aware of outside. Aware
about the things that's going on around you. Aware about other individuals. Bringing awareness to self.
What do you expect from me? I'm a guy who say I'm conscious. What is it that you expect from me?
If you say you're conscious, I would have to see your character. I would challenge you. First and foremost, I would ask you some questions to see what you know. To see where is your mind, what is the level of your intelligence, and how conscious are you? Because if you're telling me that you're fully conscious, and I ask you some questions and you don't represent that full consciousness, then I know that you're not what you say.
You're going to ask me who Marcus Garvey was?
Not just that, just ask you anything just dealing with, anything that's dealing with life in itself in general.
Right, and maybe another way to ask it is what am I supposed to do with that consciousness? If I'm conscious, then so what? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to help people? Am I supposed to just only help myself?
First of all, before you help people, you gotta help yourself. You gotta manifest that within your life. You got to, because to bring consciousness, you have to be able to have that awareness within yourself. You have to be aware of the things that's going on with you and figure out what you can do to work on your character or your behavior, so you can be able to develop that righteousness. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm following you.
So that's one of the things. So my thing is, if you're not presenting yourself or like you say that you are, and you're totally opposite from that, then that's when I have a red flag on you. That's what I mean. So anybody that comes out here, they have a conscious. Are you doing it because are you really trying to profess that idea of consciousness, or are you just saying that because it looks good? It looks like it's just something that is a facade, or it's an imagery thing, or it's
the reason why I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find out what you expect of the conscious man, because when you have materialistic things that you can see, then I can do them and still not be doing it. That's why you gotta be careful what you say. Watch this. Divine, I say I'm God. What do you expect out of me if I say I'm God? Watch this. I say I'm the nation of gods on earth. I call myself the true and living. Ain't nobody like me. What do you expect out of me?
I expect for you to go out here and build and start teaching children, start enabling them to get a better education, start showing them how to set up their own business.
Okay, I do that.
Right.
And I'm still a fraud. I can do that. You have people who've done it. You gotta be real careful when you make these criteria. They can't be Tiffany, they can't be divine criteria.
No, but my thing is, if you're gonna come to me and say you're fully conscious, I am going to challenge you. That's the thing that you're not getting. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that I'm 100% conscious. I
never heard these people 100% conscious.
No, but what I'm saying, well, I'm just hypothetically speaking. You can't come to me and say, "Oh, I'm a full conscious brother," da 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 da. And
they say that now. They say fully conscious brother.
She's just giving an example.
I'm just giving an example. You just can't come to me and say that if I ask you a question, if I talk to you, I'm gonna see what the level of your intelligence is. I'm gonna see how conscious you are. If you have shown that you're totally opposite from what you say you are, then I know that you're not up there. You're not fully conscious.
Okay, let's go through it. Let me be the dude who says I'm fully 100% conscious. What's the next step?
Okay, so if you're fully 100% conscious, are you aware of what's going on in your community? Are you very conscious of what's going on with the government? How well conscious are you? Tell me something that's going to.
Well, I know the government is corrupt. I know in our community, I know there's poverty, and I know the devil prevails in here. I know there's multi-religion, and religious is one of the causes of it. I know the prison system. I know about homosexuality in the community.
So let me ask you this. So how do you manifest that consciousness into your life? How do you elevate
Well,
yourself?
I do back to school supply drives. I feed the hungry. I clothe them. I'm out here every day sweeping up the park and I'm helping where I can. I'm helping find some jobs.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What does it mean to be fully conscious? See, you say you're fully conscious. Now you guys explain to me. Now you guys teach me. What does it mean to be fully conscious?
To be fully conscious, because first I wouldn't use that terminology. I'm using it for you right now. Fully conscious or unconscious is that I'm totally up here. It's nothing I don't see. Because see, when I say I'm fully conscious, I'm saying I'm 100% aware. So that means there's nothing I don't see. And there's only one person to do that. And it ain't me. That's an individual. So some things get behind you. Like just behind you, somebody standing behind you right now. How you 100% conscious if somebody got behind you? I've been stuck 2 or 3 times in my life. How I get stuck. So I wouldn't even use that terminology 100% fully conscious.
You playing a role right now.
Right, but I'm just saying at the same time, I'm going to come back at you with the same thing. How can I be 100% conscious? Because I'm doing it. I'm feeding the hungry. I'm doing everything you mentioned about the government. I can tell you about the government, how homosexuality prevails, how the religion does. I'm giving you all that.
But you said you was 100% conscious. You came to me and told me that. Now you're saying you're not. So which one is it? Are you or are you not?
I am 100% because I want to give you what you want to hear.
I want to know the truth. Are you really conscious or are you not?
Well, I'm conscious. I heard that you wanted. You wanted 100%. You wanted 100% conscious person, didn't you? That's what you want to see. I'm 100% conscious.
Okay, you said you was 100% conscious. Now, are you 100% conscious? You just told me a few months ago you're not. I'm
being honest. I was giving you what you wanted to hear.
So therefore, you're really not conscious.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to work.
I'm not being conscious at all. I gave you what you wanted to hear. And that was my whole point of telling you. When you put the criteria, a dude can say anything. A woman can say anything. When you make these characteristics of a conscious person, I give you what you want to hear. Most of these guys who call themselves conscious put a dashiki on. We was in Malcolm. We was in X-Fest. Did you see? You was in X-Fest, wasn't you? Yeah. You saw the dude walking around with the Uzi.
No, I missed
the
it.
Black Panthers. Walked through the whole.
They had the black. They all black.
All black. Had an Uzi walking around just like this. That's so. Because that's not necessary. That's not necessary. Okay, push them and shove. You really want to see him fold? Like Mr. Brown used to do on shoot the air, gun in the air, then everybody hit the floor. You know what I mean? He walked around with an Uzi, just like this clap, to the whole audience. Hundreds and hundreds of people over there. Just walking. Is he conscious because he had a gun, because he got black on? That's how we distinguish today. When I came up, I knew who the Black Panthers were. Any of these guys, they call today Black Panthers. These dudes is soft. I mean, but they call themselves Black Panthers because it sounds good. They call themselves God because it sounds good. She calls herself Earth because it sounds good. But you really want to see the real true meaning of a God and Earth, let them get stabbed and shot, and when they on their deathbed, please God save me. I promise, I think I'm going to church. Because it really wasn't here.
Right.
It really wasn't here. The conscious God give you, when you read your criteria, you got to base it on mentality. By you being 100% fully conscious yourself,
I wouldn't say I'm 100% conscious.
Okay, what are you, 60%?
No, I'm just.
Are you conscious?
That's a good question. No, I'm really not conscious.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No, let me explain. When I say I'm not 100% conscious, I'm going into awareness. I'm a student of life. That's just the life.
So then you'll never be 100% conscious then.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
So there's no such thing as a 100% conscious person then.
That's what I'm saying.
So I told you, I changed my answer, so I'm not 100%.
That's what I'm just showing you how people would come up and present that.
In my life, I've never heard nobody say I'm fully 100%. They say I'm conscious. And then you really know because he didn't even have to say it. You know him by his actions. You know him by wisdom. You can tell a conscious person, especially if you're conscious. Right. I know the truth of living because I know who I am.
Right.
So when I meet him, guess what I do? I say peace to myself. I can do that.
Right. And
at the same time, when I see one of his phone, I can just say peace to him too. You know why? Because I can do that. They say when you meet a conscious person, he won't say he's fully conscious. He won't say he's 100% conscious. He's just gonna be who he is.
Exactly. That's the point I was trying to get right there. That's the point I was trying to get. You don't have to say that you're conscious. Just present yourself or be. Right. See what I'm saying? That's the point I was trying to get. That's the point I was trying to make. So that's why when we played that scenario, I put you up on the challenge. I was asking all those questions because you will have somebody that come to an individual, or particularly a male come to a female saying that, yeah, I'm conscious, da 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 da. Well, if you're going to come to me with that, you better be prepared because I'm going to question you. And you better be prepared to answer the questions.
You got to be careful because the dude can, the questions that you ask him, those questions is like answerable. Answer me.
No, but I'm gonna ask you what you know as far as conscience is concerned. But that's just one of the little things I threw out there. But I would, I can be a little deeper than that. So.
Right. You know, what's one of the questions we ask one another on a daily basis? What's today's mathematics?
Today's supreme mathematics.
We say today's mathematics, but that's the proper way is to say supreme mathematics. But we say, what's today's mathematics? We do that, but even the cops know the answer. They had a group called the Supreme Team. You know how the Supreme Team was infiltrated?
They put an undercover cop.
They knew the same thing we do. They knew the same lessons. What's the wisdom middle story green in 140?
They're undercover cops.
Oh no, he's talking about what was y'all first
Stop.
regulation.
He was in already. Because he knew the answer.
Right.
But we can't make that answer the key to get in because everybody knows the answer.
Right.
The tattoo, the flag. You can't make this the key because everybody got one now.
Right.
So you gotta figure out a way to know who that conscious dude is. You know how you do it? Become more conscious. And when they come at you, they ain't gonna touch you. Like right now, they run from you. You know why? Because you're more conscious than you think you are. You're more conscious than a lot of these females out here right now. A lot of them. I'm talking about the ones that can call themselves Earth. You have a lot more, but I always say the day that if you ever chose these teachings as your way of life.
I'm sorry.
If you ever chose these teachings, the nation of God's and earth as your way of life, you're gonna have a hard time. Because these dudes gonna run from you. They're gonna run from you. I'm not talking about the few. The many gonna run from you. Because most of them are not going to deal with you. And they're gonna say that you are Allah's most precious jewel. And they ran from her. And they exiled, they actually sat her down for 10 years.
Oh.
Allah's most precious jewel.
I didn't know that.
Huh?
I didn't know
You
that.
didn't know that?
No.
She got on the stage back in 80.
Oh, that's his wife.
It's a big deal. It was in there. She returned to the essence like 2 years ago. But she got on the stage and said the black woman is God. You didn't see her for 10 years. 10 years.
Right, she left or they?
No, they sat her right there. You know how they say truth by the season bears no fruit? This nation not ready to hear that.
Right.
They're not ready to hear that. Your place is your place. You're secondary, but most necessary. Anything outside of that, it's a force or two. So I say that to say that now you come in, there's a lot of things that a person is not going to be able to swallow because you're not going to swallow anything. You don't say nothing unless I'm your God. You don't say nothing. You don't say a word. Listen, that's my point. You're going to have a problem. You're going to see. That's going to be your problem.
Oh, baby, well, you and I can't be together, then you might as well go find somebody else.
And that's not all. I'm only giving you a portion. You might have got God going to come and recognize your worth, your equality. We're going to rock this together. We're going to take the knowledge and wisdom and make more understanding. But then you got the dude who's going to try to rock you. And we try to shoot, the wisdom of the back station, the back woman. You do, and you can sit there and go, or you can sit there like, what you said, which is something you do, is you listen. We call it doing the knowledge. So you're not doing something that we don't already do. You're doing the knowledge, and now you manifest some wisdom. Guess what? Understanding can be understood. So you would have a problem to a degree, but you might not. Because there are brothers who will give you your worth. And then there's those who you would expose them.
You shouldn't say it'd be a problem. It'd just be difficult for some of these people that aren't worthy to get something over on her.
Yes.
Right.
But it's still a problem. Difficult, complicated, it still falls us in category.
That don't sound like a problem to me. That sounds
difficult?
Like no. That means I've eliminated a whole bunch of people that ain't jack to begin with.
And that's because in the final, that's what you do.
Right.
That's a process to get to that.
Uh-huh.
You don't do that from the walk in and it's done.
Okay.
Build or destroy. They say when troopers on the scene, fall so flees. Did we get to this point here today, overnight?
No.
No doubt. It's a process.
See, and then most men, most men feel intimidated by women who already.
I don't think I hate that word.
No,
I don't think men are intimidated by that.
I'm going to explain why. Because when I say intimidate, they feel like, oh, that woman is trying to take away their dignity or make them feel inferior because of the type of wisdom they
I don't think that's the case. The women today use that. I think men are intimidated by it. I don't think it's that. I think because I know that I can't score, I'm just going. It's not scared, intimidated. I already know to come try to sell me a gold chain. Here, this chain here, buy this chain. It's 18 karat, it's stamped 18 karat gold. A dude would automatically just back off from me from the door. It's not scared, it's smart. I'm gonna leave you alone. It's not intimidation. A dude gonna.
That's because you already aware of love, hell, and right. You know that you either love something or you leave it alone. Meaning love, understanding. If I don't understand, if it don't make any sense mathematically, I'm just going to leave it alone.
And that's what the dudes are gonna do.
Right.
A lot of them, not all of them. Don't get me wrong now. This nation God's on earth, and I go to lesson on this. It's not the teachers. The teachers is awesome. It's the individuals that represent it that's the bull crappers.
Right.
When you come to these teachers, you can't find nothing wrong with these teachers. Is awesome. Go ask any of these brothers and sisters to even embrace them. You know, but it's the individuals that represent it. Oh, y'all are six. When we came up, there's only two people on this earth: God and devil. That's it. God, devil. Where do we fit at? God. Where do y'all fit in at? I told you there's only two people on this earth. God and devil.
I would, you know what? That's when I was like, okay, let me show you something. Let me get the book for you, and so you can clarify.
What book you gonna get?
Because they going back, they basing it off the Bible. Because most of the time, that's what it sounds like. Because
that's not Bible.
No, but that's what it sounds like.
It's a parallel story though.
Right.
It's ignorance. It's ignorance because the dudes that came up, when we came up, that's how they taught it. Individuals taught this teaching that there's God and devil. Y'all was equivalent. Even the earth was equivalent to a devil. We were the gods. So we was our women.
Right.
But we didn't preach that.
It's ignorance in the Bible. So that the Bible story is like the temple for ignorance. But
it's not. But the individual that I'm talking, these individuals never saw the Bible. They didn't come from the Bible. They embrace our teachings that way. That's literally how some individuals. You got people to this day that teach like that. Y'all worth is underneath us. Y'all worth is.
I'll say this. We the devil, but we gave birth to y'all. So how could I be the devil and how can't you be the God? So if I'm the devil, that means you gotta be a devil too.
I agree.
You got
it. So therefore, you can't be a God if you come from the devil.
You're right.
And it's your responding with that kind of wisdom that was scared the false prophets away.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, unless you want to talk polarity, or you want to talk about positive and negatives, okay.
It's still. Do that, and these sisters would embrace it, and that's why it is for every earth in this nation right now, and our nation God's earth. There's probably 100 of us
In terms of
in the body, in the worldwide.
Wait, you said 1 million.
It's about 1 million of us. How many women are there? How many of that is actually composed of women? You won't find a whole bunch of the earth compared to us.
Right.
Compared to us, there's definitely hundreds of them. But compared to us, ain't that many of them. Why?
Because they got away with the teachings.
In the nation, in the Muslim, in the Islamic world, there are more men in Islam than women. In the Christianity world, there are more women than men. It's an actual fact.
Right.
In Christianity, there are more women than men.
Right.
In Islam, there are more men than women. In the nation of God's on earth, it's more men than this is a predominant male nation. Why is that? If it takes knowledge and wisdom to bring forth understanding. Why?
It's because the women do not see the value in themselves of what we're teaching. They keep hearing the black man is God and that the woman is not with the God and has the same similar capabilities. They're going to be like, I'm a second class citizen. Why would I want to be with God?
Exactly.
And God going to disrespect me.
Exactly.
Then, y'all always keep in mind you got a good 100, 200 Earths who left this because some dude, I can have, there's 9 planets in the solar system, you know what I'm saying? And I got 1 Earth, and I got 8 other I can have. Like I'm symbolic to the sun. And the planet. and that's what they did.
Gravitational pull.
That's what they did. And that's what they did.
I already know you was getting ready to talk about polygamy. I already know.
And that's my point. So again, you got a couple hundred that left because of that reason. They not sharing. But we can do it. It's all right for us to do it. It's not all right for
And they tell you that after the
don't get me wrong now. That's not our teachings. I'm giving you what you're going to get out here. The bull crap.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm touching. So now, this is why when we see them, we have to give homage to them. We gotta be straight. We don't have a whole lot of. You see it in here. I can name a couple hundred off my head that I know. But when you talk about males, thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. But we can't sit there and do the same for them because they lead. We mistreat them. We disrespect them. Out of the nation God's on earth today, how many females have you seen come in outside of y'all two?
I seen what was that sister that came in last?
No, here today. Outside of y'all two.
Was it? There was another female that was here.
She left. So there was 3 in here, 3 women here, and it's like 8 guys here.
Okay, you've been dealing with the Nation of Gods and Earth in and out, coming to support our events.
Mm-hmm.
How many females would you say you've met in the last 2-3 years?
I met so far about 4 or 5.
You met a little bit more than that. I can name some of them.
About 4 or 5 of them.
The Dash, Be Refined.
What's her name? The one with the dreadlocks.
That's
Be Refined.
And what's the other sister name? Zinga.
The Dash, the tall one.
Yeah, the other sister that came here the first time I came here was the tall, dark skinned one.
The Dash.
Oh,
Yeah.
she met Serenity.
Serenity.
Yeah.
That's 4.
I'm trying to think what time.
I'm trying to remember who else. But
And the other sister, Jordan, the one that's from New York. The one that came from New York out here to follow me.
Sayana.
Yeah.
was she the older sister?
No, she's kind of fairly young. She got pretty hair, pretty long, curly hair. And she came with her husband.
Oh,
Zion Moore.
Yeah, from New York. She came all the way from New York to follow me.
No.
I'm trying to think. I know. No, her first name is Joy.
Oh, she talking
Ebony Joy.
Yeah.
Ebony Joy.
Yeah.
That's 5.
Yeah,
And I'm going to show you, but my point to you is now, how many males that claim the Nation of God's Earth have you met?
I met a bunch of y'all.
I know you have.
Yeah.
And that's my point.
Met a bunch.
So it gives you a picture. All the way around the world, it's like this. But there's a reason why it's like that. A lot of sisters repel against these teachers because of what they heard or what they thought. But when you meet me, I'm going to tell you that these teachers is awesome. Not because I liberal, because I love them, they are awesome. Mm-hmm. But when you come to the true knowledge of them, you see the awesome. If you stand outside and you watch, you won't see it.
Right.
You won't see
got
it.
to apply it.
You got to apply it.
Yeah, a lot of people, they know words, but they're not applying them.
Exactly.
And bring it out to the conscious, even in the conscious world.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Our teachings, our way of life is applicable at all times. In the conscious community, in the workforce, in the prison system, in the political world, wherever it goes, these teachings, if applied, apply at all times.
Oh yeah.
But you gotta get a chance to see them. You'd be awesome. You'd be awesome. But you would have, as Devon say, a complication, a difficulty, only because the many gonna try you. They exist. It's the few. It's the few that you want to meet anyway.
Right.
That's what you want to concentrate on. Even in the conscious world, don't focus on the many.
Oh yeah.
Because either many can say anything.
Oh yeah.
The few you're going to know, especially if you want it. And the only way you become a few is you have to choose yourself. So when you choose yourself, bang. When you choose yourself, you want to touch it. You want to touch it. And that's why I'm untouchable. Because they already know, I don't care who you are, many of you, I can deal with you. I don't care who you are.
Right.
Devil, God, whatever, earth, I can deal with you because you ain't get so far with me.
Right.
And you only get as far as I allow you to.
Right.
Don't focus on these little tangible definitions of consciousness. You're going to know conscious when you see it because you're conscious. Peace.
Peace.
Peace, God.
Peace, God. Peace. My name is Unique Understanding Along from Jersey. And from the Lost Paradise, Asbury Park. Days Mathematics, Wisdom Bill.